Hooray! I did make it work! I'm the best. I think. Who fucking knows? I am live! Hooray! I'm the fucking best. Perfect. Go back. Do that. Get that up there. That's all working fine, it looks like. Yeah, that's all good. Some weird streaming issues, but it doesn't matter because I'm a professional. Whew. Into the depth? It is into the depth. I didn't know whether to stream today or finish off a video on patch notes, but I thought I should stream. Otherwise, I'll just break from a rhythm of doing it. Grab this dude's Reddit post. Oh, I haven't oh no! I'll do that after the stream. Concierge newsletter. Let's bring that up on the screen. Don't need Xylo to tell me that the patch is probably coming out tomorrow, do I? It's out. Roadmaps, that's a good shout. The IG aren't streaming at the moment. If I didn't fucking check. What if they are? Oh my god. That would be a fax piss, wouldn't it? Twitch. I didn't even check to see if they're streaming today. Nah, it doesn't look like they're streaming today, does it? Fuck it. Grab CitizenCon stuff. Anything else? Right, I will be 2 seconds. And then we'll be streaming. I'm just going to check on my mother. She's 70 yesterday. I'm a child of Star Citizen. She's literally... she was literally born on October the 10th. So she's an anniversary child. And I'm a child of the Star Citizen. Bam! Perfect. It's gonna, also, I've got a food coming for her because she's here. As one of her birthday presents. So be right back and then we'll start. And I've got all the web pages preloaded up, I believe. We can have a look at some of the new videos and stuff like that. Actually, that's a good idea. I should bring those up on my screen. Bam. YouTube. No. Oh, apparently I'm live. That's useful. Star Citizen. Yeah. This BoredGamer on my little thing is the top. Oh no, it says Star Citizen's the top crab. Damn you, Star Citizen. God damn it. I was tooting my own horn there. Mantis, Defender, playable now. Perfect. Bring that over there. We can watch that in a minute. That's all closed. Cool. Probably say I'm live streaming on the Twitters and live now on Twitch. TV talking about 3.7 live leaks and ship sales. Fuck it, why not? Bam. And then on the Twitter. Hashtag Star Citizen. Twitch.tv. No. Oh god. I could probably put BoredGamer UK. Let's put my thing in there as well. BoredGamer. This is why people watch my my little pre thing. Edit. Dashboard. Gamer. UK. Bam! That save. Edited. Cool. Perfect. Bam. The sound of being old. Bear with me, I'm just phoning the restaurant I purchased my mother's food from because they tried to get in touch with me. Right. didn't have my mother's full cutter. Can you believe that? How middle class is that sentence? Yeah. I'm a YouTuber now, mate. No dirt under my nails. Oh my god, that's loud. Not as loud as I had intended, but thanks, Pedro. Pedro's literally in my house with a whole orchestra just playing this. No, stop! Don't stop, Pedro. I didn't say stop, did I? Right. Shall we start the stream? Should we just go? Let's just go. Let's just bam. Hey, I'm BoredGamer. I don't know what I've got on my screen. It's got weird stuff here. That's probably all right, isn't it? Let's have a look at this. Let's have a look at this to start with. Let's have a look at some of the CIG stuff. New things. 3.7 is live, sort of. Everything's broken, apparently. Jaden Cattrall, thank you very much for the resub. Very much appreciated. Let's click on this one. Perfect. And let's click on this.
The mantis is one of nature's most adept predators. Its patience immeasurable. Its focus indomitable. It waits
So
silently
this is the new Mantis, and it's
for its
some
prey.
interdiction functionality.
The adroit hunter positions itself for attack, identifying its unsuspecting target when it's most vulnerable.
Is that one of
And
my...
then, steeled to the task at hand, the mantis strikes.
And the pilot is entirely blind
Its prey
now forever.
never stood a chance.
Except, even in that situation, the caterpillar would wreck the Mantis. One-on-one. Okay, let's be clear about that, okay? Just punch it. Punt it a mile. Exit full screen mode. Let's, there's some weird stuff happening on my screen. Let's get rid of, let's go in up. Let's bring this down here, mate. Where's it disappearing to? Where are you disappearing? You disappearing here? Yeah, perfect, mate. No. It's behind the wizard's curtain. You're seeing the magic as it happens. No, let's, what else do we want? Let's have a look at... The Banu Defender one's really long. Let's have a look at the Banu Defender one. Bam. Look at this stuff, mate. Dude's in a cave, mate. Sounds like a jungle. Or dudette.
You sure this is the right place?
Moss has never steered us wrong before.
Alright, good enough for me.
So I downloaded this video and it's an MKV format, which means it was made over a month ago. Just so you know. So I believe it's over a month ago. That's how long it takes for YouTube to compile stuff into MKV. Or at least a while ago. Maybe longer. The Xi'an thruster. I wonder if it could be on the Banu Defender, which used Xi'an thrusters. I'm glad CIG know their own lore. I'm doing fine, thanks, Phil. Gonna have a look at a couple of little intro videos to 3.7 new stuff, and then we'll talk about it. I want alien artifacts when I'm treasure hunting. Oh wow, that's actual data pulled up straight from the ship matrix because it had some of the incomplete data on it. And that is in a literal Banu hangar.
Jackpot.
I wonder if that's cube's going to have any relevance. I'm pretty sure it wasn't from Hellraiser. So, the 3.7 is sort of live now. So, I mean sort of live. It's supposed to be live, but all the servers have come down and exploded and broken because there's too many people trying to log on, I am assuming. But 3.7 brings loads and loads. Did you say 3.5 or 3.7? But 3.7 brings loads and loads of quality of life improvements and is pretty fucking good in the PTU, in my opinion. I expect this is going to be the best patch we've had by far, by significant margins and magnitudes. What? I'm a professional. Why you text? I never get texted. Get off my fucking phone. I swear to God. Oh, my battery's low. Get out of here. Yeah, you little weasels. But yeah, there's loads and loads of updates here. Harder missions for sharing and party gameplay. You can share missions and quests and stuff with each other now. There's harvestables and looting, and that's great. Harvestables and looting, absolutely
Good
superb.
morning, or whatever time it is for
It's
you.
afternoon,
Thanks for
mate.
spending the time to go over this.
5:30 PM. It's about to be evening. Thank you very much, Cradle Album. No, much appreciated. And then we've got the RSI Mantis, but the harvesting and FPS mining for me is is a fantastic load of gameplay, because it's loads of gameplay with caves and with mining and with harvesting, and it gives you a load of stuff to do. I really like that. Not sure about the proximity assist yet, but ship rentals. Oh, that's good. Why buy a ship when you can rent it? I haven't actually seen if the RSI Mantis is available in, or the Banu Defender is available in game to rent or buy. Wasn't in the PTU to buy in game, so we'll have to wait and see when the servers go live.
Spaceships.
Potatoes for all.
Thank you very much, Michael. Thank you very much for the donation. Very much appreciated. Potatoes for all, indeed. But the RSI Mantis, the biggest thing here, and you're going to see VAT on the prices, for me, was that it was only $130 war bond. So $130 war bond, $162 with VAT, 20% because I'm in the UK. But that's significantly cheaper than I expected. Also, you can buy it as an upgrade to a Aurora for even cheaper. And the upgrade gets lifetime insurance, which is weird. Like, really weird. It makes the Aurora MR starter packs actually have value. I just switched over one of mine to Mustang Alpha for a video, so I feel a bit upset. But the fact you can grab an upgrade pack for RSI for the RSI Auroras is pretty cool. Not sure if it's going to create anger or not. I haven't thought about it. In fact, about effectively being on a weird lifetime insurance token. But people that have Aurora MRs and want to get a lifetime insurance token on it, or upgraded as a ship, there's an option now. But what else have we got? So we've got the RSA Mantis, interdiction ship. I think people are worried that it's going to be a trolling ship. Don't know until we're in game and we're testing it thoroughly. I suspect that it will give you a lot of cool gameplay. But yeah, if a big org is using them on a server to lock a server down, you might want to switch server, if you don't want that gameplay. But I think it's all gameplay at the moment. So just sort of be careful, bring escorts, check for chat out, that sort of stuff.
So many
If people know that you're on a
Love
server
you, BG. I
and you
hope
are
this
doing
finds
big
you
cargo
well.
runs, you could be in trouble. If someone goes, this guy's got cargo ship we can raid, and he's doing like millions of UEC a trip. Love you, BG. I hope this finds you well. Thank you very much, Lantern Nick. Oh, thank you. People chucking money at me at the beginning of the stream is quite rare. But I appreciate it. Fuck me, I appreciate it. Brexit is a taxing time on all of our purses in the UK. We have purses. It's 2019. What else have we got? Oh, Chairman's Club stuff. So there's been updates to the Chairman's Club. So they've added a new level of Chairman's Club, which is the Praetorian, which basically gets all of the Legatus Navatum, or whatever the fuck it's called. Legatus Navatus, whatever the fuck that was called. And the top rank gets all of those rewards. And then at 15,000, so they sort of like pushed the Garrison of Autumn. Well, I don't know what it's called again. Out further, and they're also giving that top $25,000 amount of money pledge, which is ridiculous. Any of that ridiculous. Concierge is ridiculous. You get a 600i special edition for free. I say free. You know, you spent all the money on the world on the ship already, and that's the ship there. Bam. Cool looking. Pretty better be for $25,000, eh? Obviously, it's all the other rewards as well. But they've improved their sort of like website, and they've got some exclusive loot, and there's some exclusive gear here as well. I might buy a Chairman's Club hat, but that's the only thing I've been tempted to buy. Don't try and become a concierge. It's stupid. I'm stupid. I'm just lucky in the fact that other people want to watch me be stupid and effectively pay me and throw money at me. Oh, Robert Johnston! It's 5:30 a.m., not p.m. here. It's the time for you to feck off. Oh, it's just... I mean, you make it possible for people like me to be concierge. Brexit, ships are worth more than the pound now. They would be anyway. I love you, Robert Johnston. That's a lot of money to chuck at me. He's Robert Johnston, a true champion of my channel. I don't know what to say. I mean, it's not as if you're giving mightily to charity or anything. It's not as if you've done something great for humanity. You made me happy, and I love you. You're a fucking legend. Hyperion, thank you very much for the sub as well. I love you quite a bit less than Robert Johnston, but you're still loved. What else have we got here? Ominous Tides. Oh, so you complete Pirate Swarm now. You get access to purchase the Pirate Caterpillar and a Pirate Gladius. I actually really like the look of the Pirate Gladius.
What about me?
But... Oh, Kit! I love you, Kit! Kit's one of my best friends in the world, going to our wedding next year. We play games every evening. She gets stressed at me, I get stressed at her sometimes. We don't really, we love each other, don't we, Kit? You're the best. I don't know what you want from me. I can't be as disgusting, so I'm quite... Don't worry. It's...
Tricksy little hobbitses.
I'm disgustingly nice to her. So make other people sort of like, ugh, you fucking little white knight weasel. That's the sort of level of cringe. It's done on tongue in cheek, but I'm not gonna... I can't be like that here, Kit. I just can't. I love you, mate, though. You're a fucking legend. Oh, Madrak. Thank you very much for the sub as well. I can't believe you used your sub on me rather than Zin as well, Kit. Thank you. I'm going to tell her, though. So, we also have flyable ships available. So, we've got the Mantis available, $130 from $130. Fantastic price for a ship. I mean, don't buy it unless you've got loads to spend money, and you'll both get it in-game. All you need to start a ship, and I will be doing a video, potentially a series of showing all the stuff you can do with a starter ship, why you just need a starter ship, leveraging money, and potentially do like a big gameplay series with it. Maybe, I don't know. We'll work it out as we go along. But the Banu Defender, was it $180? Is this $180 the VAT off it? Probably around $180 war bond. Okay price for a fighter of its sort of class. I maybe prefer the Super Hornet or Sabre. Well, probably the Sabre because I like the Sabre. But I do like the Banu Defender. I might get one. Probably won't, but I might. Got the Mantis, as I said, $130. We've got the Sentinel and Harbingers as well available. So, some cool stuff there. Anything else I wanted to talk about? Oh, I want to talk about the leaks. We'll talk about the leaks in a bit. And people that want to have the patch notes for 3.7, there you go. So I'll get a video up on the highlights of those patch notes. Probably straight after stream if I've got time, or at least later today. The monthly report. Got that. I'm waiting for the roadmap to be updated. Oh, the Drax McCleary thing. Let's do that as well. That's a good show. Who's messaging me on? Live or PTU live? Live. Yeah. Live, mate. Have some of that. Mantis Sailors live. Yeah, we know. Website and game are offline. So yeah, so website and game seems to be shitting itself at the moment. So bear that in mind. It is live, but, you know, broken. not on. The servers are dead. So hopefully that will be fixed in a minute. Let's have a look at the ship showdown, because the Caterpillar was crowned winner. I thought it was going to be the Cutlass Black. Oh, do I have the ship showdown already open on another page? I would expect I do. No, I do not. I lied. So the Caterpillar won the ship showdown against the, was it with the Hammerhead or the Reclaimer it was against at the end? And the Reclaimer, Hammerhead, Caterpillar, and Cutlass Black were the top 4 ships. And there was little Jax McCleary, the Top Gear guy in space video. See if I can actually find that. History. Where it is. So during the Anniversary Expo, so from the 23rd of November, we're going to see the Whitley's Guide. These ships will be top 4. We're going to see accoutrements and extras, accessories, probably skins and stuff like that for the Anniversary Expo at CitizenCon. So that was the little teaser. What else did we have? We had a little video from 3.7 being live from CIG devs as well.
Star Citizen is an ever-expanding universe, but now we're also going beneath the surface by adding a completely new, unique location, which is caves.
FPS mining in 3.7 is the most lucrative business by far. Discover deposits and mine them. If you don't bring protection, expect some risks and you might die and not make it out alive.
With mission sharing, you'll be able to take on harder missions with your friends. That means there'll be more rewards, such as loot, or maybe even reputation that you can share together.
Players can already earn ships in the game.
With the addition of ship rentals, this will allow the players to try out different professions and explore what suits their game style.
With the new quantum enforcement feature, players will be able to pull others out of quantum travel, at the same time preventing them from escaping into it.
With the Banu Defender, we're introducing the first ship of a brand new alien species, which is exciting because it'll be the first time we get a really good look at what the Banu actually look like and where they live. And it looks awesome.
So with 3.7, new players will start seeing the glimpses of what we're trying to do.
So see you in the verse.
So it's sort of now playable, but slightly broken, as we said. Yeah, this video, oh yeah. October 11th, It was originally published unlisted on October 9th. I promise you. I look around constantly for shit like that. Right. If you want to see any of those videos, you can see them all on the RSI YouTube. There you go. And they've updated all their webpage and stuff like that. Their main website, though, is currently down as of the servers, I believe. So sort of bear that in mind. Oh no, the website's come back up. Website's come back up for me. That's cool. Website's back up. So you want to have a look at that? Let's get rid of that. That's good. No CCUs. Probably have CCUs in a bit if they haven't already gone up. Right, let's see if we've got any questions. Question in brackets if you'd like to ask a question. Doesn't have to be Star Citizen related. Does help though. That's probably my area of expertise. Let us bring up questions on my screen. How high are the flames on the server currently? On fire, burnt, and they've just replaced them though because they just printed money. They're just printing money, mate. That's making the servers out of money. Bam, bam, bam. My alert for this MA takes me 38 seconds to clip. You might need to send out a new announcement. Oh, a 38-second clip. No. Oh. That's annoying. That's because I did a 38-second clip. That's probably why. I couldn't get Twitch working properly. I melted my entire week 2 weeks ago to buy my entire week. I melted my entire week 2 weeks ago. Your entire week was melted. To buy a Praetorian pack, and yesterday, CIG make it a concierge level, and I get a free F8 Lightning. Huzzah! Are you with the new level? I am level 1 concierge. Okay? I'm level 1 concierge. I don't plan on getting higher on concierge unless I need to buy a ship for content or for prizes. But typically, prizes are provided for me by the people like the organizations or whatever. I do want to say, okay, so this might annoy some people. CIG did offer to give me a ship for a giveaway, which I refused. So I won't take stuff from CIG. I will consider any offers they have, but I think they're giving away some ships to content creators to give away to their communities. I can't take stuff like that because people will call me a shill and they'll have weight behind it. At the moment, they call me a shill because I've taken a teacup from CIG. That's it. With the Shroud of Avatar giving up and trying on to deliver one of their physical rewards and replacing it with digital rewards, do you think the same thing might happen with Star Citizen? Maybe really salty right now. So I think that if they can't meet those rewards, then they should be honest about it and try and provide something else. Yeah? I think that's a reasonable thing to do. Be honest about it, say why you can't do it, offer a refund or something of value to that extent, and give some people some recourse, and then offer them, well, actually, we can do something like this, something great as well. Maybe it's digital, maybe it's another physical thing. Is £120 to £140 for the RSI Mantis a good price for a boob job? I might need a reduction. I don't know. I don't have information on Bobby jobs. They were adding loads of new content and switching over to servers and doing a lot of stuff, and a load of media's probably gone live on lots of different websites and things. So I think that the CIG servers and website just shat itself. 3.7 is now dead. Oh no. You hate CIG today. Is there a reason for that to me too? I thought Star Citizen Live was supposed to have an episode today. Let's have a quick check. All comms. Star Citizen this week, 7th of October. 7 PM UTC, which would be 8 PM my time. Okay, so they're doing Star Citizen Live at 8 PM BST, 7 PM UTC, which is 12 PM PDT. Q&A both on the Mantis and the quantum enforcement mechanics. Okay, that's cool. I'll probably add that information to any videos I do on quantum enforcement. I'll try and get a quantum enforcement video out on the weekend. Oh, let me show you this as well. This screenshot is from Zenful, who I love very much. I tweeted this this picture saying I love your stuff because occasionally I use Zenful's screenshots or part of them in thumbnails with his permission. And I love his style of screenshot more so than I do other people's because they're I don't know, there's something about them that speaks to me, and they're very good and they're always really cool for my needs as well. So it's but I tweeted this one and then like a few hours later it was in the RSI This Week in Star Citizen. So Zenthor, good fucking job. RSI buyback tokens are also available now. Next ones are coming in January. So bear that in mind as well. What else have we got? Let's bring up the questions again. So I was trying to plow through these. Yeah, I restarted the stream because it wasn't working properly on my end. It was saying lots of problems with the stream, basically. Upgrading an Aura to an Mantis seems like a bad idea for a new player. Yes, 100% for a new player. But I would say the Aurora in general is a bad idea for a new player. You want the Mustang Alpha, in my opinion. However, now that the Aurora's got the option to be upgraded to the Mantis, that's mad. The Mantis would be a hard single ship to see in the verse. Yes, You don't want to be using the Mantis as a single pilot. Unless you've got like contracts to literally just slow people down. Then you could probably interdict and get away. Actually, that's an interesting one. Let's see if that's viable as gameplay. But really, the Mantis will require people to work together in a group that also have a Mantis to pull people out and attack them. Get a crime rating as well if you're detected. Quantum interdicting. Well, quantum snaring. It is a crime. Titan to Mantis should be another $80 if it's war bond. So that's not going to be. It's going to be $100. Is it $80 and $100? I had preloaded all the website pages, but the website seems to be working now. Can we steal from cargo ships? Sort of. So some of the boxes you can pick up and take. Cargo that's been bought properly, so I say properly, from terminals directly that spawns and appears in your ship. If you destroy the ship, some of the cargo will, sort of like boxes will explode out from it as well. Concierge is ridiculous. I'm concierge as well. I acknowledge that anything that's more than $100 in a game, typically, as a DLC or microtransaction, is typically mad. Is it possible to break into NPC or players' ships using the railgun? If so, how? So using the culling tool and using enough damage to doors, I believe, does blow them open. I need to test that in 3.7. I have not done it yet. It has previously done that in some patches. I would expect it to do it in 3.7, but I haven't checked. This is just one of my accounts as well that you saw. So I do have multiple accounts. But I haven't spent that much on Star Citizen. I think probably $3,000 total, excluding giveaway prizes. Apologies, I will not mention the exit with no name. Wait.
Tricksy little hobbitses.
Shouldn't need to reinstall 3.7. You will need to delete your shader folder in your user. You know the folder you normally delete. I own many ships. Most of the economy ships, and then some large ships. So the 600i, the expensive version, it's cool to give away to free to people to go, look, you've spent a load of money on the game, have something a bit stupid and silly. Cool, give it to them. It's not worth the money.
Not worth it, is it?
I know it's free. Free if you spent a ridiculous amount of money. I've got a Warden with upgrade to Starfarer in my account and an Arrow, around $400 on Star Citizen. Do you think fuel scooping is coming anytime soon? Yes, I do. I think they had fuel scooping planned this year and moved it around a bit. So fuel scooping is sort of in game already. If you're talking about refueling and that sort of stuff, yeah. If you're talking about gathering fuel and the more advanced fuel scooping stuff, no, that's not in game yet. I want to know where they pushed it to, though, and I can't remember. Might just not be on the roadmap at the moment. I don't think it's on the roadmap at the moment. I wouldn't expect it in the I'd expect it in the not too distant future. But at the moment, we've got sort of like a in-between mechanic for fuel scooping, and if you just sort of like leave a ship hovering on, it will actually regenerate hydrogen fuel over time. When do you think persistence will be in the persistent universe, with some players testing the game for hundreds of hours? I'm hoping that we have partial persistence in the fact that we'll be able to keep Alpha UBC and ships and equipment purchases from 3.8 onwards is what I'm expecting. I say keep. I suspect them to be not reset every patch after that. That's what I'm hoping. That's what it looks like they're doing, from what I can see, anyway. Yes, we should see a roadmap update today as well. I would expect the caterpillars to, the pirate caterpillars to get refreshed today. Have some of them. Defenders, yeah, the Defenders in-game. And on sale. How much of Star Citizen's lore do you know? So I know a load of the start from the invention of the first sort of like faster, no, well, the quantum travel drives. So the colonization of Mars and all that sort of stuff. So a load of the pre-lore I know about. Not after... What's the name of the fucking planet that gets attacked? After 2015's CitizenCon, from 2015 onwards, any extra lore, I don't know. Pretty much. Were a quality ships sold? On the RSI website. When the alphas from Verpal come out, will you go for them? I really like the Constellation Delta, and... I mean, I'll check them out. If Verpal want to send me the grip to add to my collection, got a bit of it, great. If people demand it enough, I'll buy one. But like people like Twerk and Nubifer, they're much better with sticks and giving feedback and that sort of stuff than I am. How did you log in today? My launcher doesn't have any game info and can't select PTU. I mean, I'm in with 3.7 live. Got it all installed. Not something special I've done. I suspect that it's working for some people and not others. Do you think tournament bonuses for those ships will be free for people that already own those ships? Tournament bonuses? Are you talking about the... I don't know what you mean by that. If you're talking about the stuff that was in the ship showdown, I expect there will be additional skins and stuff available. I melted my entire week into Star Citizen. What's the loadout of the Defender? It's got 4 Tachyon Singe, size 2 railguns, and some missiles. I'm not sure how many missiles it's got. The missiles aren't really important. There aren't any size 1 and size 3 Tachyon Singe cannons anymore. There's only size 2s. They're gimbaled, and only the Mantis can use them. Not the Mantis. Only the Defender can use them. And it makes it a very unique ship because of that, and I quite like it. Well, the Outer Value mechanics, where I can upgrade NPCs to help faction and territorial battles. This isn't WoW! This isn't WoW! It's not even in WoW Classic at the moment, Outer Value, but the you know what I mean. Fuck you. The PvP stuff. Mate, I wanted to take free stuff. I was thinking about it. I was like, should I have a free ship giveaway? Fucking what? So I went, if I take stuff, then they'll be like, but it's getting different. I say they, just people about to use it. People still say I'm a shill or whatever. Or they'll probably use something else when they go, well, he's not actually getting any money from CIG. We know he's not. He's a useful idiot. Or something like that. It will be, oh, he's biased because he's stupid. That's what I expect to see. Morphologist took the Banu ship for giveaway. What a shit! No, Morphologist is cool. People can use that, so I'm not saying it's a wrong thing to do. I'm saying, as for me, at the moment, and this particular situation, when CIG have not released a on-the-shelf product, I will not be, unless they're giving me, like, have £20 million, and it's not backer money, and we go, okay, yeah, I'll have that. But I'm not going to be taking stuff from them, just so I can say, well, look, I'm not influenced by them. Leave it if you want, but I'm literally not taking that ship. And there was no strings attached either. But, you know, you could say that you'd want to keep a relationship with them that gives you free stuff. I'm actively going, cool, I'll consider any offers, but I need to be entirely transparent about it. If for some reason they invite me to do stuff in the future, I will consider it. I may even discuss it and say, I want to do this. If I think it's a great idea. Otherwise, I'll refuse at the moment. But when they've got on the shelf products, and when they've got a game out like properly, I'll be king shit. If they want to give me money for stuff, they want to give me free stuff, they want to give me ships. It's not backer money, because it won't be backer money. It'll be people that are buying the game like mainstream. You know, it's their money then, rather than money we need to develop the game sort of stuff. I'll be king shit. Don't you fucking worry. What is the best strategy to get the? We talked about that. I think they're updating them. So yeah, I talked about that already. I will shill for Shadow and Noir VPN. Anything I shill for, I will say I'm shilling for. Yeah, Noir VPN, bam, fucking love them. Do it. I don't know what I'm saying. Shadow, bam, do it. Click on those referral links. Do we know how long? Oh, thank you very much, Computer Genius. Exclamation mark 2772. Thank you very much for the sub. Tenebris, thank you very much. Vulcan Cannon, thank you very much for the resubs. Oh, you legends. Loads of people following me. Loads of people fucking chucking money at me. I appreciate that. I like money. What is the state of dogfighting right now? Fixed versus gimbals. So, I have not played 3.7 live yet, as it literally just went live a few minutes ago. So I need to test it out. In the PTU, it was in a better state than it's previously been. I say previously, within the last few patches. We did have the Golden Age in, 2.6.3 I fucking loved. I've been using manual gimbals over auto gimbal or gimbal assist or fixed weapons at the moment. What is your favourite and largest go-to solo flyable ship? I quite like the Cutlass, even though it's not technically entirely solo. If it was a single-seater, it's probably going to be the Sabre. I love the Sabre. If the universe is infinite and evolutionary variation is also infinite, how many peanuts can I fit into my left nostril? Infinite. Literally infinite. Because there'll be infinite versions of you. With infinite nostrils and infinite peanuts. Can you make a tutorial for opening NPC and player ship doors using a railgun? I'll double check to make sure we can do it. And then I'll see what we can do it with. I'm hoping that you can use the cutting tool attachment on the multi-tool to open doors as well. I would expect it to be able to be used for that. And I'll see how you can breach into things. I know eventually we're going to be able to hack doors open, break them open, blow them open, make entry points in where turrets are, and some other entry points as well. But not anywhere on the ship. It has to be specific points. I upgraded my Aurora to an Avenger ages ago. Not sure why I said it like that. Do you think it's a solid choice for solo play, or should I be a conformist and get a Cutlass? I think the Avenger Titan is great for solo play. Yeah, it's my. If I had $50, if I had enough for a game package and an Avenger Titan, that's what I'd go for. I would upgrade my game package to an Avenger Titans if I had a start ship. Bam. That's what I'm trying to say. I love it. When are they adding BoredGamer salute in game so I can worship it? What do I have a salute? Just like hit my head or something. Slap your own face. That's what I want to do. I want to have a salute. I want to have a greeting that people go, "Oh, hey, Bored," and then they hit themselves in the face. Not me. I swear to fucking God, I will press charges. Okay. I want a load of people hitting themselves when I see them. Bored, are they planning on doing any hotfix patches for 3.7? There are problems with 3.7 in the 3.7 patch notes, so I would expect so. There are still some known issues. Yes, and it's alpha as well. Those known issues, as I haven't played 3.7 live, I can't tell you how damaging they are to gameplay, but there's a lot less of those issues, and they're a lot more minor than they were when it was in the PTU. Hey BG, I appreciate the content. You're a great gateway back into the game for people like me to come and go. Question, is it better to join your channel here or should I check out Patreon? Whatever is the most comfortable for you, Banzai. And the reason I've set up YouTube, Twitch, Patreon, direct donation, all that sort of stuff is to make it as comfortable as, and subscribe stuff, is to How many other places can I shill? Is to make it as comfortable as possible for people to back me. So whatever is the most comfortable for you. I don't really have a preference. Do you think they will be able to fix the Brexit dilemma by sending a giant sandworm into the Houses of Parliament? Unfortunately, I think we'll have Brexit before giant sandworms are in game. That's a thing to say. What Vanguard variant would you choose if you only had one, and why? The Sentinel. Sentinel's my favourite by far. Then it's the Hoplite after that. I'm not a fan of the Harbinger. It's got 3 torpedoes and rocket pods. But it just isn't as good as a focused fighter that I'd want to use. The Vanguards are a weird set of ships. And at the moment, I don't feel that they're balanced enough yet. They're sort of like, if they can get an alpha strike on a fighter or something, they do huge damage. They're great against larger ships as well. The Sentinel, I like the idea of e-warfare. Sorry, I don't mean to. I'm not bored by you. I'm bored by me. I'm BoredGamer. But I like the idea of e-warfare, and it gives the ship a bit more of a, it's durable. It's got good firepower, and now it's good at disabling things, and it's got e-warfare. Will there be a server wipe this patch? There's a server wipe for 3.7. Yes. 3.8, I would expect to have a server wipe as well when 3.8 hits. Persistence could come up from 3.8 onwards, though, potentially. I say persistence, what I mean is the ability to keep your Alpha UEC and your Alpha UEC purchases. I know they are trying to work towards that. It is a hope that it will be there for 3.8. But it's not a confirmation. Sorry if I miss your questions. I'm quite a few minutes behind. What is so special about the Aurora to Mantis special upgrades? They give lifetime insurance on the ship. It's the first thing to give as an upgrade lifetime insurance to a ship. In the Q&A for the Mantis, there was a question regarding possible Polaris size up for its hangar. Do you think a hangar and, in turn, full ship size will happen for the Polaris? So they're reworking the Polaris hangar, or at least they're going to be looking at the Polaris hangar when it goes into full production, potentially allowing it to be updated with the new metrics, and then that would allow the Mantis to be inside that hangar. You won't be able to use the quantum interdiction from inside another ship, though, so bear that in mind. Should CIG focus on making more mining ships and even mining mechanics or machines for use on the ground? We should have outposts that we can build that have mining in mind. They've talked about having other smaller items that would allow you to mine on your land and even like draw moisture from the air and defense turrets and lots of different things. So I don't know exactly what we've got base building wise coming up. I do know it's something that they've been looking at. But expect lots of different uses for outposts and the ways to, after you've surveyed your land in the future, to be able to exploit your land and be able to take the mineral wealth there. And not just with a prospector, but with outposts and other ways of doing it as well. Now, I am upset the 890 jump did not make it into the top 4. Jax and the 890 jump would have been legendary. Yes, I totally agree, Houdini. I think I said something about poor people a while ago, and I stand by it. No. Where do I move the PTU files to the live version? Just rename the PTU folder to live. Live all in caps. What is Concierge? Where do I find information about it? I don't know where you find information about it. Support.robertspaceindustriescom. I'll have information on it. But once you spend $1,000, there's a section on the website in the top right of your drop down for your avatar. Go to. Any idea what the size of the Carrack will be? 125 meters. That is accurate. Yes, 125 meters in length. It was 123, and then they made it significantly larger, and then they reduced it back to 125. There's a lot of people watching. 466. Why are you all watching me? I'm just talking about Star Citizen. You can play 3.7 maybe. if you want to play a game. But feel free to ask questions. I'll try and catch up on the questions quick. I'll do a fucking lightning round. Bam. That's the sound of lightning. J.O.B. Job. Thank you very much for the money. Bored, here's your weekly I love you face donation. Why are you giving me weekly donations? Thank you. I appreciate it. I live for the money. Plus, thank you for a great noob video this week and donation for Infinite Nostrils. Indeed. Infinite Nostrils. I mean, I'll give opinions on fucking anything. Sorry if you've answered this, late to join. I've seen a lot of server crashes on YouTube when people are playing on the live servers. Have you played enough to know 3.7 is live stable? No, I don't know. It's literally just gone live. PTU was pretty live. There was an occasional server crash, but it was very, very dealable with. What is your favourite flyable shipboard? Favourite industrial ship? Favourite industrial ship is the Reclaimer. Favourite flyable ship is Cutlass Black, probably. Just because it's so versatile. Do you think the Taurus is getting pushed because they want to make it with the Mantis style guide? Then if they are redoing the Taurus, then they have to redo the rest of the Connies. Oh my god. Second part, do you think if they did that, it would stay Connie or as a new standalone? Love your face. Oh, you think they might be expanding the Taurus off to be the RSI Taurus and be slightly different from a constellation, but the cargo variant? I mean, that's a possibility. It's a possibility. And they can keep the constellations the same and have the Taurus as a separate ship. Maybe. That's a bit of a long shot, but I can see where you're going with that. I do like the style of no struts for the Mantis, though. RSI style, but no struts. Perfect. Looks fucking great. Oh, David Noonan. Thank you very much for the Prime sub. Love your face. Very much appreciated. Even though you've just started following and immediately subbed today. Appreciate it. If you want to chuck their Prime subs at me, I'll happily have your free money. Where does one read lore? On the RSI website, you can... there's a load of lore there. Just in the... on the comment link, you can actually search for it. Also, if you search Google for Star Citizen lore, or go to the Astropub, he's got a huge amount of videos on lore. I've got a couple of series on lore, for, as I said, pre-2015. Or 2015 and before. Thank you very much. Oh, okay, I didn't... Thank you. I appreciate all the Prime subs that people are chucking at me now. I'll mention it more in the future. Frost. Funk Weave. Oh, wow. What a name. Thank you very much for the Primes. What else have we got here? Is it possible to get lifetime insurance with store credit only? It was previously, because you could buy new ships with store credit that came with lifetime insurance, but now they've got it as a war bond only thing. I think the upgrades to the Aurora are war bond only as well. I don't think you can get lifetime insurance without... This is a really weird thought process. Sorry, it's so slow. Without spending at least some real money. Or new money, I suppose, is the way to say that. Which, is it appropriate? I mean, I want more options with the money I've already spent as well. And I can see why CIG would want to start locking that stuff in. So, I'd rather them say, you can use your store credit once. I'd actually rather them say that now. I'd say, great, right, the game's getting more developed now. Use your store credit once for anything you want. But once use it now, it's now locked in. I'd actually prefer that personally. Commander... Oh, no. Commander Cody, thanks for following. Grey Summers, thank you very much for the Prime sub. Who else is there? Romac42, thank you very much for the sub as well. I'm terrible with names. So when I butcher your name, or it's like someone's called George, I call him Georgie. Just be aware that I'm a very special person. Do you think the Cutlass Black will get another update? All ships will receive light updates when it comes to materials, lighting. My voice is gone. Balancing, loadout, stuff like that. Continuing moving forward. Some will receive light modelling updates. Typically, we won't see huge reworks of ships anymore. They don't want to do that. They think it's a bit silly to do that. And I agree with them. I don't want to see constant updates of ships. That's madness. When it comes to like huge updates like the Cutlass had originally. Like we saw with other ships as well. I can't think of any of them. But, you know, there's other ships that have had reworks. The 600i is getting a little bit of a rework, but not a huge one, as far as I understand it, once they finish these CitizenCon things. Should CIG focus on making more mining ships and mining machines for use on the ground? Yeah, as I said, yes. And I'm pretty sure there will be. The RSI website has been interdicted. It's pretty fixed now, though. Oh, Daz Strad, thank you very much. And CG, thank you very much for the primes as well. Why do you care if some people think you're a shill? I suppose I don't. I mean, I do to some extent. I just do. I don't care if people think I'm a shill. What I do care about is there being truth behind those words. You see what I mean? So if people are saying you can't trust him because he's a shill, I want to be able to go, okay, you're entitled to your opinion. You like to say that, you know, I'm encouraged by the money I earn on YouTube effectively from people watching my stuff, that I need Star Citizen to do well. And the more people that like Star Citizen, the more people that enjoy it, and the better it does, the better I will probably do. You can use an argument like that. That's fine. But if you say CIG are paying him off, so you can't trust him, that is demonstrably untrue. And I want to be able to go, that is untrue. You are lying. Or if they say, I think he's being paid off, I go, well, that is untrue, and I've refused things. You see what I mean? It's sort of just how I live. I want to be able to be blunt with things. And I'm fine with, you know, if I am shilling or whatever, I'm fine to be honest about it, straight about it, blunt about it, whatever. Disclose it is the idea. And some stuff I suspect I will in the future maybe do things and go, oh, well, I got this opportunity, or I did this. And there's certainly going to be opportunities for like potential studio tours and potential interviews I suspect that I'll get because of my standing. Are you happy with the current FPS mechanic? And do you think they'll change it massively at some point? Well, there's been some leaks, actually, that they're adding FPS combat that you can see really, really early FPS, sort of knifing and takedowns on the screen. But we might see it at CitizenCon, I'm thinking, some hand-to-hand combat mechanics. There looks like there's blocking mechanics, dodging mechanics. You can get knocked down from being punched and stunned. There's takedowns, both armed and unarmed. So it looks like it's going to have some meat to it. But the general FPS mechanics, I mean, they're going to be adding more to it and unbalancing it and improving the animations. So, I mean, it will massively evolve over time. In case the formatting was wrong with the previous ask, should CIG focus on making more mining ships? We talked about that. What do you think the first iteration of e-warfare will look like? I think it will just be spoofing ships, like stopping people from scanning you, spoofing signatures, confusing targeting, stuff like that. I suspect it won't be much in the way of hacking ships. I suspect there will be missions associated that will like maybe have hacking and e-warfare as part of them as well. Why so much hate for the Aurora board? 1v1 now. 1v1 mid. So, the Aurora, for me, well, it's worth $5 less than the Mustang after you've bought it, even though they're the same price. You see what I mean? So if you buy a Mustang and buy an Aurora as a starter pack, they're the same price as a starter pack. But the Mustang Alpha is just worth more immediately. And it's faster, more agile, and looks better, the Mustang Alpha, in my opinion. So I just like it more. Cutlass airlock, wasn't there a mention of a hatch airlock at some point? Is this nerfed forever not going to happen? I think the Cutlass is staying pretty much as it is. No? Do not slap board at CitizenCon. As I said, press charges. Have you removed from the event, even if joke? Have they fixed hover mode so it's easier to land into hangars? Yes. Well, they haven't fixed hover mode. They've changed it up to IFCS proximity assist, which sort of replaces hover mode with when you're close to the ground now and moving slowly. You can toggle your VTOL engines with J if you've got VTOL engines, but you sort of like dynamically are slowed acceleration-wise when you're close to the ground. Yeah? And so you can land really easily, you can get into hangars really easily. However, there's no sort of like, you're basically a floating turret, so it's not appropriate either. So they are going to be reducing the power of thrusters, so hopefully that will be a bit more sensible, and I think they're getting some improvements for that as well. I have been on record saying I'm not a helicopter, I don't want to be a helicopter, but I was wrong with that. I was wrong. What I meant to say is that I want to, when I am close to the ground, move slowly, precisely, and not erratically. And the hover mode wasn't necessarily bad. In fact, it was probably quite good. It was terrible when I was close to the ground. So I'm revising my earlier statement. I do think they can either find a middle ground between both systems, or they can tweak the proximity assist to make it good. I don't know. If I'm floating on a planet close to the ground and I'm floating nose down, I don't just have to flip over and fire all my weapons freely when I'm on a planet, as if I'm just hovering in space. I want my thrusters to be using more fuel. I want them to be really overheating. I want to be shaking potentially. I want my some of my thrusters to potentially overheat and misfire and things like that. And bad things could happen if I'm there for too long. Like 15 seconds, I could hold my ship there, but I can feel that it doesn't want to be pointing nose down. Can you make a box multiple times? So you were able to in the PTU every time you had loot, but I suspect they'll probably put a cooldown on it at some point when they realise someone's made 20,000 entities. How can we play Destiny 2 together? I haven't started playing the new version yet on Steam. We'll work it out later, because me and Kit have been talking about wanting to play it, and having people to be able to play during the days is a great idea. Where do you see Star Citizen in 3 years? With more content. Squadron 42 released. Star Citizen much closer to a beta stage. Well, it's not going to be in a beta, I don't think, at that point, because I'm now defining beta as feature complete, which is a long way to go. I think we'll have full persistence by then. I think we'll have server meshing by then. I think we'll be in a state that we've got permanent progression. Lots of cool stuff for then. Multiple systems, capital ships, things like that. What's your opinion of the Defender's shield hardening? I've not used it properly in any combat scenario to really work it out. What's the word on server-side object container streaming? They're working on it. They're able to decouple some features to get them in sooner rather than later. So I suspect we'll either have server-side object container streaming or some of its features in for 3.8 that will allow microtech. What else have we got here? Thank you for so many people watching me today. Did you find the Mantis commercial as funny as I did? With the cat likely to eat the solo Mantis. Yeah, that was weird, wasn't it? So in the Mantis trailer, it was like, haha, and the Mantis has pulled out the caterpillar. It's its prey. So why didn't they have loads of other ships come up behind the Mantis to show that it had friends? Because that caterpillar is going to absolutely wreck, in my opinion, that Mantis. Where do we get a rucksack? You can get it from the armor store on Port Olisar. And it's a, is it Max Flex Core rucksack? Is that what it's called? How will insurance work exactly? Will it be mandatory? Will we literally be able to lose our pledge ships? And does it make sense to implement that along with persistence, semi-persistence? So insurance shouldn't be permanent, and you won't be able to permanently lose your ships until after they have UEC in, and they say, right, now we're live. Okay, so don't worry too much about that. We don't 100% know how insurance is going to work. We sort of they've roughly talked about you're about to insure equipment separately from your hull as well. They've previously talked about potentially pledge ships will have statutory insurance to a very low level. So you'll be able to, lifetime insurance is supposed to be insurance for the hull. Maybe all ships will have some form of insurance outside of their just 6 months, whatever they've got. I'm hoping they don't do that. I'm hoping they do encourage you to have insurance. I'm hoping that, because they need it to drive the economy. So maybe they'll have it so in some areas of space, it's illegal to drive without insurance. But we don't 100% know how insurance is going to work in the future. They need to clarify exactly what they want to do, but I suspect they'll iterate on it. Which EMP ship is your favourite? Raven, Warlock, something else? We've also got the Sentinel now. It's got an EMP currently. And the Cumbrel Cyclone AA. I'm not sure I did that face, but I fucking did. Deal with it. Thank you very much, Toothpick, for becoming a YouTube member. Very much appreciated. So, probably the Raven. I like the Raven. I think the Raven looks cool, right? The Raven looks cool. And it's exclusive, and I'm like, look at me, I bought an Octane drive, I'm an idiot. And the reason I say I'm an idiot is because Octane drives are really expensive. They are really cool, they've got really low latency, but you can get almost as good performance, significantly cheaper, and a huge amount more storage just by getting a good M2 drive. M2 SSD. I am an old EVE Online player, yes. I like some of the economy and sort of like PvP aspects of older EVE Online. What org has been your favourite to interact with? There's a huge amount of orgs that I've interacted with, and I've loved loads of them. Most of them I've had proper interactions with. When do you think eWarfare will have functionality? I have no idea. I don't know. So they'll have to get scanning and signatures more developed first. After Squadron 42, so that maybe 2021 sort of time we might see some eWarfare type stuff. Right, let's plow through these because I'm how many minutes behind am I? Oh, I'm only 11 minutes behind. Okay, that's not too bad. Star Citizen Live is in an hour and a half-ish, as far as I'm aware. And it's on the RSI Mantis and Quantum Interdiction. You got $400. What ships would you get? Focusing more on combat. Okay, 1 second. So... Not ship matrix. I'm going to go to Pledge Store. Is this website broken again? Probably grab a Saber. I like the Saber. I really like the Saber. So that's the Idris in the background. The Idris is pretty damn big. Yeah, the website's down again for me. Any details on the 600i rework? No, not really. Other than they're going to be updating it. I wouldn't expect a huge rework. Just sort of like materials, tweaks inside. We've had client-side object container streaming for the 80s now, since 3.3.5, since CitizenCon last year, actually, I think. Actually was when it was. So... Server-side object container streaming is yet to be in-game. Expect it for potentially 3.8 if you're lucky, or at least some of it. If I buy a ship on the black market, does it go towards my concierge? No. Gifts received, and yeah, so gifts received, no. The original account that bought the good is the one that gets the money attributed to it. If I bought $2,000 of ships on one account, transferred them all to the other account, the one I bought the ships on would be the one that had $2,000 of what's concierge on it. Rogue Simulant, thank you very much for the sub. Dudley, spelled with a 3, because why the fuck not? It's 2019. Thank you very much for the sub as well. People chucking subs at me, thank you. That's why you need to do real independent news, brother. So if I ever go into something in the future when I'm like, cool, I'm done with games or whatever, I'm like 50 years old, I'm like, I want to do journalism, what I'd probably do is interview people about their beliefs and talk about them in a constructive manner and just question them on their beliefs in a non sort of like threatening manner. Just want to get to know what they think and why. So more like that. I'm very, very interested in that sort of sort of gameplay, sort of like understanding people and their points of view. I think I'm pretty reasonable. The persistent universe might be up, it's up and down. Up for some people, not others. If there was a bored lookalike NPC introduced into the game, what would you like its role to be? I'd like him to be a sitting NPC. So what the idea is, he watches to see where a player sits, and then comes and sit next to him. And that's like on trains, just in the world, on ships, whatever. Just scooches up next to them, sits down, like looks at them, and occasionally nods, and smiles. Perfect. I mean, that's probably the best thing I could hope for. What do you... Why not work for CIG? Well, I will work with them if they ask me to do something or whatever. I won't be... Let me think of a way of wording this. I'm happy to go to studio tours and talk with CIG and work with CIG and poke CIG and find out stuff, but I don't want to be overly influenced. I don't want people to say you're being paid off by them. Yeah? We'll do full disclosure anytime I do something like that. Are they going to update the roadmap? Are you concerned about Squadron 42 progress? Yes, for both. They're going to update the roadmap, and we should see some extra stuff on the roadmap, especially for like 3.8 in the near future, sort of like getting some extra stuff expanded out, I would expect. And then even for 4.1, hopefully they'll add to the roadmap at some point. Am I concerned about Squadron 42 progress? Yeah, I want to see more from it. I want to know more. I'm concerned in a light way that, you know, I think it's reasonable to be concerned about all progress in Star Citizen to some level. Be interested. Hey, Bored, I'm still waiting for a medical ship. You said it would come last year. What is going on with the game? Most of the game seems like it's all speculation. Did I say it would come last year? I'm sorry. I do apologise. You're talking about the Cutlass Red. The Cutlass Red, I think they've got it planned for 3.8 at the moment. They did it for Squadron 42. They reschedule and change bits of the game, the scheduling for the game. And they've got a really weird agile model which has them keep on changing what they were doing. Hopefully they'll be a bit more stable in the future. They've certainly zigged and zagged and done stuff wrong. The sort of like development of Star Citizen is taking a huge amount of time, but hopefully it will lead to something great. I mean, there's a certain risk to it. And I mean, when we say speculation, when we're talking about gameplay loops and stuff for the game, there's going to be some that people do not like. Whatever, even if you're my hardest core fan, there's going to be some that you don't like. There's going to be some that are done wrong and bad, but hopefully you'll be able to avoid them. That's the way I see it anyway. Apologies if I've made videos in the past which have gone on Star Citizen's news and CIG's roadmaps and expected or suggested that something will be here that's not. I do get stuff wrong, obviously, and I report some of the stuff on news and some of the stuff on opinion. Hopefully I make that clear when I do that. Do you think the long-term goal of the Sentinel is to keep the EMP? I don't know. It was supposed to have EMP missiles, but now it's got a small EMP. But I don't know. I think they'll play it by ear. Does the Mantis pricing highlight how overpriced the Terrapin is? Yes. Terrapin is ridiculously overpriced. Do you think the ship needs a repass on features, i.e. exploration and scanning? No, so I think once we have scanning more developed, scanning and exploration and finding points of interest and stuff, I think the Terrapin will be a lot more valuable. Do you see what I mean? Ship hacking could be a lot of fun. Yeah, they don't want ship hacking as far as I'm aware to be able to remotely blow up ships or anything. They just want to be able to, you know, cause issue. When do you think the release of Squadron 42 is going to be? I don't know. I'd love to see it at the end of 2020, although that might be massively over-optimistic of me. What I want to see is a release date given at CitizenCon this year. Do you think the ship rental price is fair? Yes. Yeah, I do. There's some ships that are ridiculously overpriced still, like the 600i renting it. But for the most part, you can rent a Prospector pretty easily now and then go do mining, stuff like that. So you've got access to all those ships. I actually expect CIG will make loads more money because of ship rentals in-game and the sort of like making 3.7 a lot more mainstream. Whose message am I highlighting? Dine Block. Can we make a company together? What company do you want to make, Dine? What, in game or like IRL? What are we selling? What are we doing? No one wants hover mode back. Some people do, or at least some people say they do. I do like my anime. There's someone's put some anime references in there. Some people like hover mode. Some people like the change back to proximity assist or whatever with side to the ground. I want something a bit in between. I didn't mind hover mode that much. It was just when I was close to the ground, I needed to be able to. There can't be any barriers to landing at landing zones. Do you know what I mean? Airlock, Cutlass airlock hatch nerfed forever. So I don't think they're going to have the docking collars that we're going to have. And I think the Cutlass is going to stay the way it is. What do you think about the legal status of Star Citizen's game engine? Amazon Lumberyard, as Wiki states, was licensed from Crytek in 2015, and CIG need legal approval to license the game if copyright laws are not clarified. No. So CIG can fully sell their game. The court could move in if Crytek say something to prevent them from selling or prevent them from developing the game further, but the court would have to go, why do you want that? They're using Lumberyard. Well, no, they're not using Lumberyard, they're using our code. They'd have to prove that. So as far as I'm aware, I'm not a lawyer, but I did go to law university, but not that kind of law. As far as I'm aware, CIG are already able to fully sell their game. It's licensed through Lumberyard. Do we have a Mantis commercial? No. Yes. We do. What else have we got? Have you seen Everspace 2? Seen Everspace? I've seen the Kickstarter for Everspace 2. I was original Kickstarter backer of Everspace. Probably old news by now, but still think the custom rest stop interiors are going to be good. Yes. So the idea is that the new rest stops, new space stations. They're building space stations in general for points of interest, for rest stops, for cargo stations, all this sort of stuff. And they've been building out the interiors of these cool exterior stations that they put some of them in game. So we're going to see new rooms, we're going to see new lobbies, we're going to see huge food areas. They're going to be like proper landing zones, some of them. And yes, I'm really excited for that because it's then they're going to be using that tech to build out cargo stations, to build out larger space stations, build out different stations. Thanks for the love, Skeeter. I'm glad you love my face. The arrow got nerfed, one shield generator. Yes. Will it be fragile in a dogfight? Not if you upgrade that shield. Like a military-style B-class shield. It'll be fine, probably. The arrow tanked a lot from being able to avoid getting hit in the first place. So I haven't played with it in the live build yet, obviously. I don't think anyone has. I'll tell you once I play with it a bit. It is one of my favourite ships, the Arrow. Yeah, indeed. People stress testing the servers. Yeah, I think there's a mixture of stuff going on there. With stress testing, a lot of people coming on to play the game, a lot of people checking out 3.7. It's the weekend, all that sort of jazz. When I'm finished here on stream, where we'll go and stream, we'll go and host someone else that's worthy. but you know, anyone that's not me. But I'll get a video up on the highlights of the patch notes, and I'll do it in a sort of like new features. I'll do a new features video of exactly what 3.7's got and the highlights of the patch notes, basically. Does Arena Commander leaderboard reset with every major patch? I think so. Well, I believe it archives it. Archives the last one. Does the cargo... does the Sentinel have any SAU of cargo? I don't think it does. I don't think any of the Vanguards have cargo space. No, they don't. I think someone's answered in the chat as well, thank you. Launcher makes weird sounds, I know, but it loves you. What else have we got here? You see the Idris coming available by the end of 2020. I see that as a possibility, a much larger possibility if Squadron 42 Episode 1's out. So yeah, I think that's very possible. But what happens if your money runs out, your insurance expires, and your ship is lost? We don't know yet. That can't happen at the moment. I think CIG have to put some things in place, ways of making money. So like if you're literally stuck at a station with no ships, and you can't get off, can you mop the floors? Can you restock the vending machines? Can you find work on NPC ships? Things like that. I wish I was as good looking as Bad News Baron. I'm not. How do you see NPCs working? Like Fallout 4, where everyone has schedules and dialogue and can be killed and stolen from, and more like Sims, where they're very interactive. So I think the idea is they're going to have schedules, and they're going to have sort of like 24-hour schedules and their own. They go back to their own habs and go to sleep and stuff. So some of those NPCs, most of them, will exist in simulation and then be physically simulated when they need to be. That's just sort of the way I understood it. Probability volumes and stuff like that. But the idea is that some of the named NPCs, yeah, you could potentially kill, although I suspect they'd be healed. I can see all chats. How about Vanguard bucks? So bucks, they're giving you the items from the bucks to be able to modularly change your Vanguards. That's what they said about them last time, I believe. Two million people are trying to log on. I say that sounds like CIG servers are shitting a brick. Do you think CIG can manage server-side object container streaming so the servers can then have 100 or more people in an instance? I think that's a possibility. So that would be the sort of like server-side object container streaming. I think the top thing it might be able to do, if we're lucky, is allow 100 players on each server. But what we actually want is server meshing, and both static and then dynamic. And server meshing allows for thousands of people to be on a server, I believe is the idea. And then dynamic server meshing could allow everyone potentially to be on the same server. Services have become disrupted. They have become interdicted. So yes, Star Citizen are using Amazon Web Services, whatever it's called, AWS. Shouldn't it stop the servers being overloaded? I think they're probably using some AWS servers, but not fully. They're moving stuff over to the new diffusion architecture, and they're moving some stuff over to AWS, and I think some of the stuff's still legacy. I do own an Endeavour. I own an Endeavour Master Set. I won an Endeavour Master Set, in fact. You think about to open and close elevators and ramps into our ships from ground vehicles as we drive up without getting out. Oh, that is a good point. I don't know. I'd like the feature to be able to open and close doors. Potentially. But then if you're using the mobiGlass to do that, that's remote access and they don't really want that. No, you'd probably have to get out or drive by near a switch and press it as you're driving by. What ways would you like to see CIG add depth to the standard system? More missions, location spawns, once they finish Odyssey. So, yeah, points of interest, events, missions, stuff to do when you're quantum traveling, places you can scan down and jump to, new locations that you can sort of like loot and find things at. That's the sort of content I'd like to see. I would buy Bored coffee. I appreciate that. Thank you for the love. Bob the Enchanter. Bob the Enchanter. Bam. And now that almost immediately. Kind of. Thank you very much for the sub. Very much appreciated. What else have we got here? He doesn't really read any of the chats. I think he uses a bot that extracts stuff like from all chats. Has the question there. So now I've got all the chats up in front of me. I use there's a restream program that allows you to put stuff from loads of different feeds into a single chat program, which I use. So I see stuff from loads of different places. But I just sort of scroll through until I see question in brackets. In your video in the background, where is the place you can use the multi-tool to cut open that gate defense? That's from the Squadron 42 vertical slice. There is a cutting tool now in 3.7 though, although we can't use it to actually cut anything open in the same way. But the idea, that's on Gainy, Odin 1A, in the Odin system, which isn't in game yet. Can you move your personal inventory items to ship cargo while out on the planet? Yes. So you have to physically go into the ship's cargo bay and then drop your personal inventory on the floor by pressing tab or F and then clicking on the little dot and then dropping your items as a box, and then you can place it in the cargo grid of that ship. The Mantis, after you're using Quantum Snare, can you immediately engage Quantum Enforcer suspension, or do you need to wait for the cooldown timer? So the Quantum Snare also is Quantum Enforcement and Suppression, as far as I understand it, and have used it. So if you are doing the Quantum Snare bubble, you don't need to worry about Quantum dampening. It's already being done. When do you think the salvage mechanic will enter the persistent universe and ETA for Vulture flight ready status? I think the Vulture's planned for... Is it 3.9? For 3.9. So Q1 2020, end of March. What about prison sentences for griefers? They are building prisons now. I expect that's one of the locations we will see in the not too distant future. They're using cave tech and some new architecture to build prisons, and there's going to be jails and prisons, and there's going to be gameplay associated with them. They're going to be given out to players that get killed when they have high criminal ratings or some other crimes that they can do that they can put in prison. I expect to see them in asteroids. I think that cave tech could be used in a large asteroid, or with places like Grim Hex type sort of structures. They could use cave tech, because they don't have to caves on the ground if they don't want to. But we could also see them on the ground as well, and in caves on the ground. Thoughts on the Banu Defender? I think it's quite a cool ship. I need to play with it a lot in 3.7 Live before I can get like a bead on it and test it out against the Super Hornet and Saber, see how it sort of like performs against them. I like the hit scan weapons. I think its quantum travel is amazing. Do you think they will implement the remote turrets for the freelancer within the next few patches? So the idea, are you talking about automated turrets or remote turrets? I don't know what they're doing with the freelancer. Any remote turrets that it might have should be accessible by the console at some point, but I'm not sure when. Do you think we should drop our you think we should drop all our backpack cargo when we die? As currently we have the option to drop the rock onto the floor, but somehow they didn't link the feature for when we die. Well, yeah, so I want, and I was hoping that with 3.7 that when you die you drop your all your loot on the floor. So like your personal commodity inventory in a box. That's what I wanted. Hopefully if that's not in, then they will get it in ASAP. Oh, Joe Cooper, thank you very much for the love. Oh, and I was referring to, yay, my favourite YouTuber is streaming, but then I've looked up and you've also sent me money. You deserve it. Thank you very much for the super chat. Thank you very much for the money. Very much appreciated. Lord, what do you endeavour to accomplish with that master set? So a lot of the gameplay I want to do in the future and guides and stuff are going to be economy, science, industry based. I'm not going to be the best combat pilot ever, but I'm going to be able to do cool stuff with large scale combat stuff and boarding, but I am able to focus on understanding some of the more industrial and sort of scientific mechanics and how to do them. I think I could probably do quite good videos on that and quite good guides on that, and it's gameplay that I like the idea of and I think I will enjoy. So you'll notice that on my channel I will try and cover a bit of everything for Star Citizen, try and cover all the news, and when it comes to guides and specific gameplay, it will tend towards mostly stuff that I enjoy and like. Yeah, makes sense. I wonder how much Starlink will change the internet when the internet and Star Citizen when it goes live. I'm hoping that everyone will have internet and have no, like lag. Wouldn't that be good? What exploration? So that sort of like potentially allows non-regional servers. So you could have Russia, Asia, China, UK, America all playing on the same servers. I suspect that they might have to split up Western and Eastern servers. Hopefully not, but I think it's a possibility. Until then. What exploration mechanics do you think might be introduced in future patches? More points of interest. The ability to scan things down. So scan points of interest down, travel those points of interest, scan more points of interest down. That's the sort of exploration that I'd like to see in the near future. What will the default spawning location... What will be the default spawning location when servers get wiped and we do get pyro, etc.? Or will we be choosing which system to spawn in from the menu? I don't 100% know. I would expect that there probably will be choices that you choose to spawn your character in when you first log in. I've got a Javelin to test in 4.0 era. I don't know how to feel. Any advice? What? You've got the Javelin so that you can test it in the future? I mean, I've got a Javelin as well. I got one from referrals. And I'm looking forward to it. One of my favourite ships. Something I would advise most people to get in game. Do you think the Freelancer deserves improvements? I'm not a fan of the Freelancer, so maybe some tweaks and improvements would help. I'm sure you've been asked this multiple times, but what are you most looking forward to for 3.7? Hope all as well. Well, it's out now, but it's harvesting, lootables, being able to explore, and then being able to share missions, harder missions. The sort of like the core of the game for me is doing missions, is exploring, looting, and being able to make money doing that. But all the servers are up. Cool. Some people still can't log in. Still can't download the patch. Oh man. Sorry, bro. You're about to, like, give it a little while. When we watch something on TV, come back in half an hour. You're about to. And let's follow up. When you do quantum snare, does a ship drop out near the Mantis, or do the ships drop out anywhere along the snare radius? So they drop out anywhere in the snare radius, but the snare radius is pretty fucking small at the moment. They just, when they sort of like hit your bubble, they get pulled out. As far as I'm aware, I haven't actually tested it fully. I've done it like twice to people, or seen it done twice actually. Do you believe Pyro will be fleshed out from the get-go? Due to the new architecture implemented for procedural generation of cities, instructions, etc. So I suspect that we could have a reasonably fleshed out Pyro at CitizenCon already, yes. I think that's a thing. But I wouldn't expect we'd see a new system in our hands until next year. Right? I suspect they need at least first stage server meshing. Now that I own a super rare gold F8 Lightning with lifetime insurance, thanks CIG, what's stopping someone from stealing it from me in-game, and now they own it? It seems like explorable, loophole, to me, exploitable. So they wouldn't own it. So if you remember the way they have things, they could technically steal it from you, but it would be a stolen ship, and you'd be able to, you know, reclaim it on insurance. Make sure you put it insured. They would be able to steal it, but they wouldn't be able to land it in any of the places in the game other than Grimnex. And eventually there'll be like shops that deal with stolen ships and scrapyards properly that deal with stolen ships that you can actually sell the stolen ship to and things like that. I think is the idea, but only at a fraction of the actual value of the ship. So yeah, you'll be able to steal someone's ship, but the other person doesn't lose it unless they didn't have insurance on it, I suppose. My PC specs, I've got a 2080 Ti GeForce, a 8700K i7, and 64 gigs of DDR4 RAM. That's just because I do video editing and stuff. Yeah, I am planning to so in November the 3950X comes out for Ryzen, I believe, and the new Threadrippers and the 10 series for Intel. So I'm going to compare them all, work out what's the best one I need, and buy one of them. Update my system based on that. So at the very least, a new motherboard and a new processor. Right. So, I am really excited for 3.7. Let's see if we can actually get in game. Are the servers working? Well, I can't press the launch button. Log out and then log back in. No, the servers are booked, which is a shame. I can log out now, and now it's hitting a brick again. Do we have any other updates? Reddit. Let's have a look. See. That's weird that the servers are all down and the website was down and everything, right? Okay. No, so servers are up and down at the moment. Actually logging in and downloading the game more than anything else. I can't even log out at the moment. Let's close all this. Let's close all this and try and log back in like a normal human. Blah, 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 blah. Let's log into my other accounts. Alright. Is there an anniversary sale planned for today? So at the moment, there's a flyable ship sale and a Mantis sale on. So, bam, 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 bam. Where is it? Bam. One of these. No, bam. Got the Mantis on sale currently, from $130. You can even upgrade an Aurora more cheaply. 150 on store credit. Madness. I pay VAT of 20% because I'm in the UK and the UK government hates its citizens. Also got a Pirate Gladius, which is available, and a Pirate Caterpillar. If you beat Pirate Swarm, I don't think the Pirate Caterpillar is actually available currently, but should be again at some point very soon, like today probably. For people that have beaten Pirate Swarm in 3.7 specifically. So what else have we got on sale? So today we also have the Banu Defender going on sale, the Mantis, as we said, and the Sentinel and Harbinger Vanguard variants. If you want any other ships specifically, well, you can buy them or rent them in game. Now with 3.7, rentables in game. Woo! Fucking win. Unexpected token, JSON at position 0. Cool. Servers booked. 23rd of November is going to be the Anniversary Expo. New ships. All the old ships, most of them being on sale. Probably a load of them being free to fly. Stuff like that. So, Anniversary Expo and CitizenCon 23rd of November. I can tune in for that. That will be your best bet to try out any ships that you want to. Got any other questions? Questions in brackets? Or question in brackets? I'll happily answer them. So when people are... You can make a load of money from lootables and mainly from FPS mining. Now, you can use the prospector to detect asteroids in space, and typically there's smaller nodes that you can FPS mine on them. Also, minables will appear lots and lots in caves, but on the ground as well. Sometimes, typically, around other minables, or you can detect the sort of like those smaller nodes occasionally in groups on the ground with the prospector I found. I'm not sure if it's detecting other nodes nearby or them, but you know, I go there, I go mine them by hand, get in the prospector, and then nom up some other asteroids as well. But you can make a huge amount of money if you've got the backpack as well, so make sure you buy the backpack. It should be available in Polaris. It's just armor that gives you a huge amount more carrying space. And then when you've filled up your inventory, if you've got a ship that has any form of cargo grid, take your cargo out of your personal commodity inventory system by pressing tab and drop it on the floor. Bam! And you can sell it all, and it's worth quite a lot of money. I thought the loadout of the Pirate Gladius, I thought it was just the same as normal. As far as I'm aware, it's just a normal Gladius. Yeah, Chris Roberts is raging about ourselves. I think that them having stuff rentable in-game and purchasable in-game will make them more money. I honestly do. I think it makes Star Citizen more mainstream. I think it makes it more playable. I think people will be playing testing ships that they wouldn't have otherwise tested. There's a lot there, in my opinion. We'll have to wait and see until we actually have the numbers. What else have we got? Well, thank you very much for the knock. Say my name. Okay. Stiha. Stare. There? Stiha. There. There. Thanks very much. What else have we got here? Where do you buy the multi-tool from? So you can grab it from Grimhex in Conscientious Levski Conscientious Objects. So that's on Delamar. You can get it from Lawville, and you can get it from Area 18, I believe. Will rentable ships be flyable in Arena Commander? Not ships that you rent from inside the persistent universe. They are on separate databases. You can rent ships with rec in Arena Commander. They can't be used in the persistent universe. Persistent universe ships can't be used in Arena Commander. Bam. This is the idea of shutting down all the servers and moving the Cayman Islands quickly. Do you think in the future orgs will be able to hire mining orgs to hollow out large asteroids that have bases in them like Grimhex style locations? I think they've gone away from having voxel based asteroids. I think you might be able to build outposts on the ground and maybe on large asteroids like Delamar, but I don't think we'll be able to have... Well, maybe we'll be able to have space stations and asteroid bases. I don't know. I don't know. In the far, far future, maybe. They'll try everything with Star Citizen, I think. Farming no combat as a player experience. Do you think it's possible that we can log in for hours, farming resources into materials, truly profitable without constantly getting shut up? Yes. Yeah. I think that's going to be a thing. I think you'll be able to do a load of farming. I think they'll have it as a very fleshed out gameplay loop. I think they want to do that with a load of different gameplay loops. And if you want to do more, risky farming and that sort of stuff, because you can, in the Wild West areas of the game where there is no UE law, you can hide your base or whatever, but you can make a load of money by selling, making rarer vegetables and and plants and medicines and things, whatever. That's what I expect. I think it's a possibility, yeah. The sort of shit they want to do. They want to make Star Citizen, each of its individual gameplay loops, as fleshed out as possible so people can lose themselves in it. It's a bit of a sort of like Second Life simulator as well. You think it can do the Carrack in time for 3.8? Yeah, I would expect to see it at CitizenCon, the Carrack. Maybe not finished, but finished enough to show it. If we know the website was going down or is it crashed? We didn't know it was going down. There's problems with it, up and down. Watching BoredGamer while wait to play the new patches while I call happiness. Oh, I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. I do appreciate all the love. I know I get a lot of love from the community. I do appreciate it. What else have we got here? Any word on crafting ships and weapons? No, we don't. We haven't really heard much about crafting beyond that. We know that you'll be able to. Well, they want to have the Endeavour be able to craft drugs from other things. So light manufacture is all that's been discussed. I'm hoping that we do have the ability to make munitions, fuel, food, all that sort of stuff, so that we can live in the Wild West areas of space without having to go back somewhere else. You see what I mean? Oh, I do appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for the love. Do you think we'll be able to replace manned turrets with remote turrets or auto turrets? Yes. You'll be able to use AI blades to make some manned turrets via automated. You'll be able to get NPC crew. I think they said they're also going to be able to slave them forward. You're the best, Board. I love this. This is good for my ego, mate. Will we have waist deep snow? They haven't talked anything about that. I would expect cool effects and deep looking snow, but they haven't talked anything about waist deep snow. I mean, Microtech would be the place you'd get that. They have talked about extreme weather conditions, and I expect we see some of this at CitizenCon and at Microtech's initial release in what is planned for 3.8. They don't show my Kraken at the expo. I will build it on my own in IRL. What? Okay, well, good for you. What will the co-pilot of the Banu Defender be able to do? So, the idea is eventually you'll be able to truly share whatever permissions you want between the systems. So you can have one person piloting, and then the other person could be aiming, they could be manning the MFDs, they could be whatever. So, access to all the MFDs, access to the pilot share, access to aiming, scanning, targeting, all that sort of stuff. I would actually think that the ability to use those turrets, the gimbals, with its really gunniness, with the second person actually gunning them, would be pretty effective. At the moment, sort of like they're supposed to use it for, shield hardening. You can click on the shield to harden it, and MFDs, but more in the future. With the state of the game, what sort of graphics card would you recommend to play consistently? At least a 1070. At least a 1070. A 5700 XT would work fine as well. So that sort of level. Have my children bored? Yeah. David Clegg, no worries, I'll look after them. You might get ground up into meat or sold or something, but as long as they're litter trained. Does the Mantis have any medium parts or are they all small? Can they gimbal size 2 weaponsmiths? That is a good point. I actually don't know the size of the components on the Mantis. I'd expect it all to be small. Except for its utility slot where the interdictor is. I wonder if there's fucking rainstorm outside. I wonder if I will have to punch a tree to get wood in Star Citizen. I'm already at full mast. No, no, you won't have to. Where are our cave found? So you can get missions to find caves and to find missing people in caves. They are on Daymar. They are on I have to actually look at my notes. Damarhurst and Aberdeen currently, and then they're adding more locations for it. I would expect to see that potentially in mini patches or 3.8. How long have we been streaming for? 2 hours. Okay. Yeah, so I was able to download 3.7 before the servers went down. So I've got 3.7. I sign in. If you were a betting man, when would you estimate a non-alpha state of the game? I don't know what that means. I mean, moving into beta. We're going to get a more and more fleshed out game every 3 months. I'd expect Star Citizen to be in a much better state at the end of 2021. Much more mainstream. But probably potentially have full persistence by then. And at the very least, static server meshing in a good integrated way. What's going on with the RSI website? It's shitting itself. It's exploding. It's imploding. The CIG servers are imploding. 3.7 is live, but you know, you can't log on to it to play it. Shield hardening basically just gives that shield more damage mitigation briefly, as far as I understand it. I haven't actually fully tested it out. I just went, oh, it reduces damage, it looks like. Bloody millennials, eh? What impact do you think the new mission sharing options will have on gameplay? There's significantly harder missions in game now, and it allows players to play as groups and just chain missions together. Much more sensible, much better way of doing things. You can all work together, doing a task, you can all track it, you'll get the money from it, you don't have to fuck around. It's great, that's absolutely great. It will make people play the game a lot more. Do you think the Carrack will have a refinery for quantum fuel? I think it will have some way of being able to stay out in the heat for long periods of time. So it needs to have some way of generating quantum fuel or something like that, in my opinion. But even a little refinery or something, I would expect. So will the multi-tool be our one tool for mining, repair, scanning, etc.? Yeah, I think it kind of will. Scanning, I mean, it scans rocks and things when it's got the attachment on. So I'm not sure what scanning, but mining, repair, yeah, cutting. Is the planet Microtech really coming in 3.8? Or will they delay it? Don't know for sure. They look like they're trying to push for it for 3.8. It's going to be dependent on whether they've got the servers optimized enough to be able to handle it. But it is one of the major things of 3.8. And they've got the staggered development model now. So they're hopefully about to get that in. Because they're spending longer on getting stuff like that in and fully fleshed out. So my opinion is that it's going to be there at the moment if it's still on the roadmap. I would expect updates to the roadmap, though, within the next couple of weeks that would give us a bit more of a hint if that is accurate. Shadow runs Star Citizen great. That's good to hear, seeing that I do shill for Shadow. I need to test it with 3.7 live. But I would suspect it will work better than it's had with previous Star Citizen patches. Hello, Bold. I recently was watching your Taurus video from 2014. I was wondering what would the 2019 board tell 2014 board about the game itself. Chill out more. People don't give a fuck if your editing's shit. They like you talking and presenting the news. And invest. Brexit's going to take a long time. All those people that died that weren't your fault. What? Something about global warming. CIG didn't renew Prime, so its servers are down. What's a good comprehensive way of telling normies what Star Citizen is, or going to be? Me, Noob, and Noobifire have got... me, Noobifire, Twerk, Morphologist. I've got some pretty good videos about what Star Citizen is, the casual player sort of thing. Just sort of like, what is Star Citizen? What's it trying to do? But I just say it's trying to be first-person Eve. Eve Online with beautiful graphics. It's the sort of way I describe it to people that have not seen Star Citizen but have played Eve. It's a first-person game with spaceships. It's cool. You can do a bit of everything. Second Life. Look at it. Look how pretty it is. Ah! Depends on what sort of like games they're into. If they're into space combat games, say it hopes to be the best space combat game available. But there's also huge amounts of other supporting roles that you can do without even turning to combat ever. Just going, help by being attacked if you get attacked. I believe you just activate shield hardening by clicking on the shield on the MFD, the face of the shield that you want to harden. Then it comes up as red. Thanks, Starvenger, for spamming 504 gateway timeout. Good to know, though. New server error. Well, in 50 or so minutes, we've got the thingamajig. Star Citizen Live. Talking about the Mantis and quantum enforcement. Quantum interdiction, whatever you want to call it. Quantum enforcement's a weird term for it. Does the Oracle Helmet glass should remain 100% transparent? Or do you agree it should look tinted, like in the bugged terminal preview? Helmets, glass, visors. I want them to be one way, entirely clear, and the other way, the people looking into them, I want them to have effects on. So I just delete the shader folder from my user folder. But you can delete the whole user folder. Backup control changes or whatever, though. I've yet to get into Star Citizen. There's something about broken tokens. Gems of War. A mobile game, isn't it? Or the, time sync ones. Now that FPS mining is a thing, will that make the Prospector redundant for most people? No. So the Prospector can mine larger asteroids. It's got and larger minables, and also help detect the FPS minables because they can spawn, by asteroids, and they can spawn by groups of other minables on the ground. Banu Defender video released. CIG looks like it took parts from Squadron 42. Well, that video was made a while ago. I can tell you that because when I downloaded it, it was in MPV format, which means it's been processed by YouTube, and that takes a few weeks typically. Otherwise, it would be in MP4 format. Can we be hipsters and Star Citizen yet? You can be a hipster now if you want, mate. Don't you fucking worry. Don't you think interdiction will stop players ever responding to beacons? That's a good point. I mean, service beacons are going to worry players now because they could be a trap. Although, it's unlikely that... So, people that are interdicting are going to want cargo ships and loot. They're going to want loot rather than to kill like a combat ship. And if you're calling for combat assist and a service beacon, you're going to get combat ship turn up. Is mining with the multi-tool on asteroids a thing right now? You can mine the small mineable nodes that spawn near some of the mineable asteroids, yes. Is there any news on tractor beams becoming functional and when? Nope. We haven't heard much about tractor beams for a while. We know that they want tractor beams and there's going to be tractor beams. And I believe that even the multi-tool is going to have a tractor module, push and pull. We don't know anything when. Do you think it's possible we'll be able to hire AI NPC security to engage hostiles while we're working in-game? Pilots and FPS ground. Yeah, you're going to be able to hire NPCs as crew. To what extent we're able to hire NPCs that are helping us, supporting us, defending us, I don't exactly know. I don't think CIG 100% know yet either. You'll probably be able to have like defense turrets and things like that. And you'll be able to have AI modules running some stuff. I'm scared I'll get bored during long travels and PvP. What do you say? It depends. I mean, yeah, you could get bored. There's going to be things that they'll allow you to do when you're on ship. There's going to be points of interest that happen while you're flying around. There's going to be stuff for you to do on your Mobiglass, like to kill time. It depends on the size of your ship as well, how long your travel is going to be. If you're on a larger ship, it's going to be a lot shorter, even though you can have more facilities for things to do, because you'll have bigger quantum drive is the idea. So there's stuff that they need to get done. One of the other things is you don't really want to be traveling huge quantum distances in a small ship constantly. You want to be making use of carrier ships that take that small ship around, things like that. Are destroyed ships lootable? They were. I need to test it in 3.7 because I haven't tested it for. I don't know when I last tested it. They were spawning when I last tested it, which could have been a little while ago. Could have been a good few weeks ago. I haven't tested it in 3.7, but I assume that ships that are carrying cargo have the chance to spawn some of that cargo when they die. What's the income difference between mining in the prospector versus hand mining versus rocks? So, hand mining rocks, you can make quite a lot of money, I think, like 30,000, 33,000, if you get all of the, was it Hardenite, whatever it's called, in a backpack, full in a backpack. You can make a load of money. Prospecting, you can make a load of money. You can make it pretty quick, but that is, you have to find the right rocks and look around and have a bit more skill in finding that, because with the prospect, you'll be bringing back a lot of shit and trash if you don't watch what you're taking and sort of like work out what rocks you should be mining and not. The hand mining is significantly easier and cheaper to get into, so bear that in mind. You do have to look around for minables. They're not just all in one place. You have to. They're in a cave, but the caves are massive, and you have to actually see them and detect them. With Prospector, you can actually scan down those. You can even scan down some of the hand-mined rocks effectively because they're part of asteroids, because they're part of other minables on the ground. Thank you for all the follows. Thank you for all the people chucking their Prime subs at me. That was very much appreciated. And thank you for all the donations so far. I do. It's absolutely fantastic. Like, I'm planning to. Zin's been doing some tweaks and stuff and learning how to edit in the background. So he's a girl that's going to start working for me full time. Obviously, this is my full time work, making videos and doing Star Citizen community stuff for my BoredGamer brand. And I'll be streaming a lot more, doing a lot more actual gameplay, a lot more rather than news and guides and these ANAs and FAQ stuff. Although I will be doing this as well, so it's all additional content. Playing some other games as well, occasionally in the evenings and stuff like that. I don't just play Star Citizen. It would probably drive me mad just play Star Citizen all the time. Although I do love it quite a lot already. I think for the future, I've got thousands of hours in EVE and thousands of hours in Dota 2 even, World of Warcraft, things like that. So yeah, so the donations and all that sort of jazz really helps with that. So like makes it a bit more stable for me, I suppose. Will the Vanguard Harbinger get stronger than the Vanguard Warden? It's an interesting one. So, the Harbinger's got stronger armor, and I would say it's stronger in a fight against the Warden, because it's got the rocket pods and stuff. Assuming the rocket pods work reasonably well. I just don't like the Harbinger because 3 torpedoes is not really enough for it being a torpedo variant, and like a missile and torpedo and rocket variant. This is my thought on it. What am I supposed to do when the security tech stops my quantum drive? You wait for it to scan you and then fuck off. You let them scan you, and then you continue on your way. Get far enough away from them, then you can quantum travel again. I've previously done a organisation spotlight on Black Star Initiative as well. They're recruiting. You can have a look at them. I don't mind them talking about that. That's all good. What am I supposed to do? That's what I talked about. If you've got illegal cargo on you, probably try and get away from them if it's valuable, or chuck it out the airlock. Or when they start to interdict you, power down your ship, because then you'll come out before you get near them. What would you recommend for streaming? Dual PC setup, or just spend a bit more on a single PC? I prefer single PC because I think it's cheaper to run and just simpler to do everything through that. Lots of other people, well, up until reasonably recently, would have gone for dual PC setups all the time, but because of the amount of CPU cores you can get on a CPU now, it makes it much more viable doing a single PC setup. Will you be at CitizenCon this year? Yes, if sure. So will you be streaming live? Potentially. From your phone or something? I've got a GoPro, so I'll be recording or streaming from there, or jumping into people's shows and helping out. I'll ask CIG actually if they've got a streaming PC I can use when I'm there. That's a good idea. So you've got anywhere that I can, stream from, talk about what I'm saying. Maybe a booth. That'd be useful at your event. They do it at other events. Something about you. If you had to take something favourite of what is currently in game, what would it be? Gameplay, mechanics, location? It would have been Jumptown previously, but they sort of like killed that a bit. I don't know in 3.7 yet exactly what my favourite gameplay loop is because I haven't played it enough. Do you think the PvP players are called griefers because they mostly kill for no rewards? Maybe when they are able to loot from other ships that will change. I mean, they're not necessarily griefing, they're giving extra sort of content. Griefing would be a perpetual just going after the same person again and again and again. They might be trolling a little bit, they might be sort of like, oh, you're ruining my fun! But I don't think they're griefing. They're just playing it for what they want to play for. And if you see someone trying to PvP, you should call in assistance on the service beacons. You should, you know... Just because they're trying to prevent you from making money from trade does not make them a griefer. No chance of a cutlass mandible module to scan like the prospector for mining? Yeah. Can we expect to see some progress on the Banu Merchantman with the release of the Defender? Yes, I would expect them to start talking about the Banu Merchantman soon. And I would expect to see the Banu Merchantman, hopefully, next year, end of next year would be my hope. Like something they show at CitizenCon next year. Will there be anti-interdiction mechanics? In Elite, you have weird minigame. Will there be something here? There might be in the future. So things that thought about are sort of like you have a bed to put subcomponents in, or the size of your quantum drive would mean that it's harder to destabilize. Something like that. What is the best place to spawn to make money? What? You start at Polaris. Going to Daymar and searching in caves and doing cave missions, and actually putting a backpack on and mining minables is good money. Cargo has actually is good at money again now. They've reverted it back to 3.6 prices. Maybe they do a little bit of more of a rework on the economy as well for the live build. It depends exactly what you want to do. If you want to just go out and grind money, you can do a load of combat missions, sort of like bounty hunting, and destroy the probes stuff. That's pretty quick and easy to do. I am going to go for dinner in a minute. It's my mother's 70th birthday yesterday. I got her a load of sunflowers and some chocolates, and got her a takeaway from her favourite restaurant, which should have arrived. I'll make sure she's happy and okay. Are concierge automatically shrills? Well, are they like shills, but colder? Or more shrieky? The website keeps on going up and down, yes. So, Star Citizen, what's taking so long? It's their model, their development model. They haven't got a publisher. They're trying to do this huge game, which they keep on, because they haven't got a publisher, keep on reiterating on certain components and mechanics. They've got a bit more of a model and roadmap that now we can see, and they are generating money based on selling ships and that roadmap. Development as a service, as I've previously termed it. And coined that phrase. That is my phrase. And other people use it. So it's taking a long time because that's the model they've fallen into. And Star Citizen is going to take a very long time to develop. We'll have Squadron 42 a lot sooner. And we'll have Star Citizen parts of it in the alpha every 3 months, getting updated more and more and more. And more playable. In a couple of years, I expect that we will have a very playable game. But it won't be finished for a long time. Oh, new Windows 10 patch, mate. Don't even fucking joke about that. The last 2 Windows updates have been hell. What else we got? Anything else? I do pay attention. I do pay attention to both, I do. Realistically, what minimum internet speed, down and up, do you need for Shadow to run well? It's not necessarily about speed. It's about latency as well, and buffer bloat and things like that. So your speed, as long as you've got like what 20 meg down, you're probably pretty good. But yes. Right. Any other questions before I go for din-dins? I've got 522 people watching me, so I'm a bit, don't really want to go for din-dins. I want to talk more and have people throw money at me and watch me more. But I think what we'll do is we'll play some 3.7 over the weekend when the servers are up. So I was planning to play some 3.7 live and talk about it and show off some of the like Mantis and stuff. But we'll do that over the weekend. What I'll do is later on today I'll get up a video on all of the new features for 3.7, highlights of the patch notes. I won't do a full patch notes video because that would be mad. But we'll talk about all the new features and all that sort of jazz. In half an hour's time there is a Star Citizen live with the RSI Mantis and Interdiction, which they'll be talking about. Yeah, I've got infinite connecting screen as well, so this makes me sad. This makes me sad. I'm interested to know, is anyone picking up the Mantis themselves? Is anyone getting like a Sentinel or Harbinger? I don't know if the Mantis is available to buy and rent in-game yet. Rock Hog, thank you very much for the cheer. Very much appreciated. He's shared some form of rewards with people. I'm not even sure how that fucking works. There might be some other stuff happening with CIG and the servers and stuff like that as well. And it's possible they're being DDoSed. I think it's unlikely. It's probable they've just switched over to a lot of stuff and their servers are shutting themselves. Happens sometimes when they move over to live builds, but not on this sort of scale. Banu Defender's cool. I need to actually test it against the Sabre and the Super Hornet to see what's... If they all are great in different ways, perfect. But if the one's like, well, this is just clearly better than the others in every way I can think. Anyone, how do players have millions of Alpha UBC? So typically they'll have a large hauler ship and they'll have a like 100,000 up to 100,000 Alpha UBC to start the game with because of either referrals because they bought UEC. But they'll have a good amount of UBC to start with and a hauler, and then they just leverage the ability to make money from cargo hauling. But you can grind a load of, for example, combat missions now and make a load of money really quickly. And then rent a ship, buy a ship, rent the Prospector. Yeah, it's not just you not getting in, it's most people. But yes, so I'm going to find someone else for me to stream on the Twitches. Someone that is worthy of a big host. Thank you so much for so many people watching me today. It's very much appreciated. I will be streaming on the weekend. Some 3.7 live is the plan. So please join me for that. And if you've got any questions about anything, you can jump on my Discord. You can leave them on my videos. I'll try and answer them, or someone else cleverer and more lovely than me will do that. Maya's online. So we'll go and drop into Maya. He's waiting for 3.7 so that we can play that live. So that'll be pretty cool. Thank you so much for all the money people chucked at me. So many people joining me today. The questions, that really helps. The bits, the subscribes, the member joins, the Patreons, the bits again. Robert Johnston for chucking $100 at me. Oh my god, you monsters. Job as well. Legend. Fucking money. Lantern Nick. Michael. You're all fucking legendary, mate. Rock Hog. thanks. What I'm going to do in a minute as well is I will get a video up for 3.7 live features. That's what I'll do after food. But anyway, thank you very much for joining me. Very much appreciated. If you've got any feedback, you can get me at contact@boardgamer.co.uk. That's my community-facing contact. And I love you very much. Very much appreciated. You take care. We are going to be hosting Maya. You can check him out here. You take care, guys, and I will see you soon. Peace. Bam. Right. Bam.